I'm going to tell you right now, I've done my research and things like that. And I often think that postpartum depression is often sometimes, it's not used in the right context. And so I think that sometimes when women have postpartum depression, if they don't get it addressed properly and within the right time, it can lead to postpartum psychosis. And so typically you would see women killing their children and things like that. And that's not postpartum depression. Let me get that right. That's postpartum psychosis. That's a whole nother level.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the New Rich Podcast. This is an amazing podcast, the fastest growing podcast for entrepreneurs and creators to help you to build a 6 and 7 figure online business. I'm your host, Uyi Abraham, and I have my wonderful co-host with me today,
Dr. Faith Abraham. Welcome back, New Rich Nation.
Awesome. All right. So usually I start by saying, how was your week? But I guess I got to...
Yes, I started with you because you just came back from a long trip and journey. How was it?
It was great. You know, I went to Doha, Qatar, and also to Manila, Philippines.
Yes.
We have some team over there. So I did some business relationship and stuff to strengthen. It was a wonderful time. First time in Asia, actually.
Okay.
But, you know, Philippines is Asia and a very interesting country because it's surrounded by so much water.
Yeah.
Right. So like we live in Georgia. So if you want to go to like a neighboring state, which is like a state like Florida or even North Carolina, 30 minutes flight is about 4 hours by road. But 30 minutes flight there, if you're going by road, which is really going by the water, it takes them 2 full days to get there. Wow. So it's quite an interesting place. You live in the same country, but you cannot visit certain states except you go by air, which is about 30 minutes to an hour. But if you go by road, it's going to take you 2 to 3 days. It was quite an interesting thing. It was a good time, good culture, good people. Definitely. You know, just that, the journey. America is so far from Asia.
Yeah, you were 12 hours ahead of us. So when we were waking up, you were going to bed. And when we were going to bed, you were waking up.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like, I was so confused about the day and time. I'm like, what's the time? Like, oh, it's 7 a.m. Filipino time. Mm-hmm. Oh, but that's 7 p.m. Atlanta time.
Yep.
So Atlanta was 12 hours behind. So it was really weird to make those calculations. But it was a great time and the journey was far. You know, I did a transit in Doha, like 15 hours from here to Doha, 17 hours transit, under 15 hours to Manila. It was a long trip, but it was a great experience. First time in Asia. And I heard that, you know, next time when you come to Asia, try Singapore, Japan, Thailand, they're beautiful.
Yes. I definitely want to go to Korea. I may have been influenced.
South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea.
Not North Korea. Okay, all right. Let's make that distinction.
Wherever K-pop is, that's where I want to go. I may have been influenced by my 16-year-old. IDK, but K-pop, K-beauty, K-dramas. I'm here for all the Ks.
Wow, that's amazing. And guys, we have a special treat for you guys today. We have an amazing coach and client in the studio today. And she is no other person than Coach Ashley.
Hey, yes.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here with 2 lovely people. I'm happy to be, you know, working with you and I'm just in a state of gratitude right now.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. That is so amazing. So you do such awesome things right now. You're helping so many women.
Yes.
I mean, you are closing clients left, right, and center. You're crushing 6 figures. You're going to crush 7 figures and 8 figures, you know. And it's so amazing to have you here today. So tell the audience a little bit about you and your background and how you got to do what you're doing today.
Yes. So my name is Ashley Marie Brown. I am a single mama too. I'm also a registered nurse by profession. Let's see. So, but I always wasn't where I am today. Today I coach women on how to unlock their full potential and embark on a journey as it relates to health, wealth, and personal development. I help them break the barriers down that typically hinder us from pursuing our dreams, our visions, and our goals. And so that's typically what I do. But what kind of it started the whole Lavish Academy is in December of 2020, after having my son, I found myself in a really deep and dark depressive state.
Wow.
Yeah. I was battling postpartum depression.
That's a big one. A lot of women don't talk about it, but it's hard.
It's definitely hard. I was battling postpartum depression after having my son. At the time, I was living with my mom in a one bedroom apartment.
It's okay. Take a minute.
Take your time. Yeah. This is one of those topics that a lot of women we deal with, but we don't deal with it because it's not talked about a lot. We feel like, oh, I'm the only one, or something's wrong with me, or it's just me. And so we kind of just try to deal with it by ourselves.
Right.
But it's just great that you're even sharing this, and it's like you're remembering everything as you're talking about it. So that's how emotional it is.
It is.
So what do you think was part of the trigger point for the postpartum depression?
I think the fact that I was just overwhelmed with a lot of emotions. I was single and doing it by myself. Yeah. The other parent, he was not present. And so I was very overwhelmed. At the time I had literally no support. I had no one to attend to my children. And so at the time I couldn't work. I couldn't really do anything. And so I felt really stuck. No one knew what I was going through. I was kind of battling with it inside. And despite the fact that I was surrounded by family members, I still felt alone. I felt extreme sadness, guilt, and shame. And so, but it was in that space which ignited a fire inside of me. And so I became very resourceful. I began to tap into different resources. And so I developed a morning routine to help me maintain a sense of sanity.
Okay.
And so, included in that morning routine was prayer, positive affirmations, meditation, physical fitness, and a supportive community. And so, like I said, I go back to becoming resourceful. I found an app called Peanut. And within that app, I found many women who were undergoing similar circumstances as I was. And I was able to connect with one woman, and I resonated with her, and I connected with her on so many different levels that I felt okay. It was like a sense of relief to know that I was not alone. And so, after becoming very resourceful and doing things, I will always go back, how am I going to provide for my children? I'm not actively working right now. What can I possibly do? And that's when I actually tapped into financial literacy. I began to study. I began to come up with the funds to use my last to really invest into myself. And so I always would follow certain people, and they would talk about credit and talk about, doing different things and different methods you can generate funds. And so I found an event, and it was out here in Atlanta, Georgia. It was called the Circle CEOs. And I remember the general admission ticket being $500. And I was telling my sister, I said, I'm willing to put it all on the line. I'm tired of trying to figure things out. I want to get out this situation. I'm tired of being at my mom's. I'm really ready to live a life, because I envision my life as living life like a lavish lifestyle, and goes back to why I have an academy called Lavish Academy, And so I purchased the ticket, I put that on the line. I purchased the ticket, came out to Atlanta, attended the event. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, I was able to connect and collaborate with so many people. And with my savings, I invested into a course, and that was recession proof. That was a recession proof course. And, from there, I just really taught myself and did all the research that I needed to do in order to learn the financial literacy game, learn about personal credit, business credit, what I needed to do. And so from there, I started to build my personal credit, and also help family members as well. So that's essentially where it all started from. And from there, I was able to remove myself from the situation by me being in a desperate, really desperate and depressed, it also ignited a fire in me to be determined and for me to pursue my dreams, visions, and goals. So I just want to use my story as a way would help inspire women and let them know that wherever you are right now, you can transform your life and understand that your current situation is not your final destination. And I truly believe that. And that's why I pour so much into my course. And I really want women to be inspired and to fully understand that, it's the lack of information and maybe the lack of connection that's maybe keeping you hindered and from moving forward. And so just want to share my story,
That's something.
But you said something though. So so we went from PPD, postpartum depression, and then you made a decision, took action, made a decision, and then it was just the ball just started rolling for you.
Yeah.
But could we talk to maybe someone's watching this right now and that's where they are. They're in that PPD state, or it's just depression. They have seasonal depression, or they just feel stuck. What do you feel like was the difference what was the story you were telling yourself in the time of the depression versus the time of taking those steps of action? Or were you still kind of depressed while taking action, but just allowing things to happen?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I was still depressed in that time that I was doing things that never left.
So it wasn't like it was
no,
it disappeared, magic.
Yeah, no. It didn't leave.
Some people say it's not a good idea to get into business with your spouse.
Yeah, they do say that.
But we love it.
Hey, I'm Uyi Abraham. I'm the founder and CEO of Vonza.com.
And I'm Faith Abraham, co-founder of Vonza.com.
So I was born and raised in Nigeria. So I came to America with just $100 and a suitcase of clothes in search of the American dream. And coming here to America, it wasn't a bed of roses like I thought it was, and I found myself in abject poverty. Even in the midst of being poor and broke, I found this beautiful lady and had the audacity to ask God to marry me. And we started from scratch, right?
Absolutely. We started with brick and mortar businesses, then we transitioned into online business. But back then it wasn't as succinct as it is now.
Yeah, so we found ourselves, because one of the things we always wanted to do was that we knew that God's hand was upon our lives, and we knew that we're called to impact millions and billions of people. And then we started creating online courses and coaching programs to help people to find financial freedom and to fulfill their purpose. And in the midst of doing that, it was so cumbersome trying to run a business online, because we're using so many different tools, so many different plugins, apps, developers, Zapier, all of these things, and try to tie it all together. It was extremely frustrating and difficult to run a business online.
It was, and it required a lot of know-how and technological understanding, which most of us just don't have. So when we decided, as entrepreneurs, let's solve this problem, because it was a problem.
Yeah.
And when God gave us the idea for Vonza, things turned around.
Yeah, I remember one day I was trying to create an online course and trying to release it out there. And in the midst of the launch, my plugins, everything broke. It was very, very embarrassing. And I remember how frustrated I was, because I was like, why is it that we can send a man to the moon? We have an app on our phone that can bring a taxi called Uber, but yet there's not one simple and yet powerful all-in-one platform that makes it easy to run a business online. So in the midst of that frustration and being overwhelmed, we decided to create Vonza that can help any entrepreneur, any coach, any creator, or a small business to easily run and grow their business online.
Absolutely. So now you know why we love working together, because two heads are better than one, and two heads created Vonza, the best solution for you to run your online business. With Vonza, you can create your website,
your courses,
funnels,
membership, scheduling.
Absolutely.
All-in-one tools. Everything you need to run your business online, all in one place.
So start your free trial today.
Yeah, there's nothing else that come close. Vonza was built from the ground up for entrepreneurs and creators. So start your trial today at Vonza.com.
But what kept me in a momentum and what kept me consistent was because my morning routine kept me grounded. It kept me in a space where it has to work or it has to work. And, I always listen to inspiring speeches. I also would listen to T.D. Jakes, Oprah Winfrey, Eric Thomas. I was, Earn Your Leisure, any and everything that I can potentially add to my belt as far as value, life-changing information.
Yeah.
That literally, I honed in on that, and that would honestly make a huge difference into me being depressed and extremely sad and not doing anything, to me actually being active. Because like I said, I come from Section 8. I come from food stamps. And so, seeing my mom struggle her whole life, that was not going to be my reality. I was going to create a reality for me and my children. And, I would not allow myself and my children to live a mediocre lifestyle. I'm sorry. I know abundance is our birthright, and I'm going to get it. No way. No, I'm going to make it happen.
Wow. That's so amazing, from going through postpartum depression to going through financial challenges to Section 8, living to your mom, and now building a successful coaching business. So that's so amazing. So other than, you said you were, investing in yourself, you were in courses, mentorship, coaching, and inspirational words, So how did you kind of put all that together to now hey, I went through this? Because one of the things that's amazing is that not just only transformation, when you go through personal transformation is good. But when you go through personal transformation, you say, you know what? I want to help other people to experience the same transformation I've experienced as well. And now you have Lavish Academy, which is a course and coaching community where you're helping women to do amazing things in their lives so that they don't have to stay stuck in whatever it is that they are dealing with, Right. So what was that shift for you that say, you know what, I'm not just going to just say, hey, I used to be down, I'm up, I'm excited, but I want to help other people. So what made you decide, what was that shift for you to say, you know what, I want to start helping women to live this lavish life? Then I have a second follow-up question to that too.
Yes. So my story, I know the power of my story, and I know how my story can impact and influence other women.
Yeah.
And like I said, throughout the process, I attended different seminars. And I also was able to, I got up and really spoke to what I was passionate about. And I attended an all-women conference. I think it was called Dream Her Conference in Oakland, California. And so I stood up and they asked, what was our passion? What was our interest? And I talked about, what I was interested in doing and how I was creating the ebook and all this stuff. And towards the end of the event, there was so many women that came up to me.
Wow.
Yes. And either they may not have been pregnant, but they knew someone who was pregnant. They knew someone who was undergoing postpartum depression. And there was also a woman who had an organization. She said, look, once you get everything together, once you know your course, and I want you to come and speak at my organization.
Nice.
So that solidified the reason. That just gave me reassurance that I need to move forward and create a course and I need to add value to these women, because sometimes I'm going to tell you right now, I've done my research and things like that. And I often think that postpartum depression is sometimes, it's not used in the right context. And so I think that sometimes when women have postpartum depression, if they don't get it addressed properly and within the right time, it can lead to postpartum psychosis. And so typically you would see women killing their children and things like that. And that's not postpartum depression. Let me get that right. That's postpartum psychosis. That's a whole nother level. So let me also go back to a little bit. So knowing that I was also experiencing postpartum depression, there was no way that I was going to take antidepressants. I know what that can do to the body, and I know the adverse side effects. So if I know one of the adverse side effects could potentially be suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation, why would I take antidepressants,
Right.
And so it's actually, and that's another thing too, is actually helping women create a routine that is effective if they commit to doing it versus taking antidepressants. There's always another way. And also, there's therapy. So, I want women to know that medication is not always the final answer. There's other alternative ways that we can heal ourselves without, treating ourselves with these westernized medications that creates a whole nother domino effect. And it's not good for our organs.
Wow,
Absolutely.
that's so powerful.
I so agree. And one of the things that you said too with the morning routine is, I love that because there was this conversation that was happening on TikTok the other day, and it was a popular person in the entrepreneurial space who said that he doesn't believe in morning routines. It's not necessary, so on and so forth. And I was like, okay, that's cool if that works for your brain. But then there's other brains that need a morning routine. They need that structure. They need that. Okay. It's like a way of waking up, a way of grounding yourself, a way of gratitude. Like as I'm making my bed, I'm like, man, I have this. I used to not have a bed. I used to sleep on a twin mattress. It was on the floor in an apartment with no furniture. I didn't have anything in my apartment at one point in time in my life. And now I have this bed that I share with my husband, and we have our kids, and so it's like this whole thought process and stuff that's just like going through my head as I'm making my bed. So to somebody else, it just looks like, oh, you're just making your bed. Yeah. But to me, it's kind of like an opportunity to give thanks, an opportunity to see the future, an opportunity to embrace the lavish lifestyle that I'm at in this moment.
Exactly.
So for a lot of your ladies that you assist, it's just about like embracing where they are, or is it taking those steps to move forward and create that lavish lifestyle?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's so amazing what you just said, Okay. I want to hear about this lavish lifestyle,
that's what I want to know. I'm like, okay, so is it for the immediate? Is it future?
What's that about? Because I know a lot of our audience too, they want to learn how to live. I like that word lavish.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I know a lot of people
lush.
Right? A lot of people want to learn how they can live that lavish lifestyle. I think one of the things you've done so far today is to tell the audience that it doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter what you've been through. Whether you've been born poor, rich, broke, Section 8, living with your mom, going through postpartum depression, psychosis, doesn't matter. You can bounce back.
Yeah,
and you can live the lavish life that you are living today. So let's talk now about this Lavish Academy. What's it about and what's inside, right? And what could somebody get from being a part of your community or getting your course?
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So Lavish Academy, like I had mentioned before, it helps women break down the barriers. What is essentially hindering you from moving forward, from pursuing your dreams, visions, and goals?
Okay.
What are you currently doing? Providing assistance to women who need help when in relation to health. So your physical, emotional, financial, social emotional, what exactly do you need help with? And let's tap into that area. And so within my course, I offer an outline of different aspects of health that they could tap into, and also provide them lessons and a thorough explanation as to why it's important to ensure that when it comes to different aspects of your life, that you are abundant in every aspect. So, like I said before, abundance is our birthright. So making sure that you're abundant in the health space, in the wealth space, and in the personal development. And lavish lifestyle looks different for everyone. At the time in my mom's house, I wanted a lavish lifestyle, but my environment was not lavish.
Right.
And so what I did was I invested into myself, and I got around people who were lavish, even building those connections. If you think about the term lavish, it's essentially extravagance or luxury or opulence or greatness or great wealth and things like that. So even if you may not possess a lavish lifestyle, you may not possess the expensive possessions, being around people who resemble lavish and having those lavish relationships. It can be both interior and exterior. So having a lavish state of mind, because right now there may be some women who may not be in a position or may not, because when I talk about lavish, I don't want anyone to feel discriminated against or think that it's only flashy things. No, because I was in a position and I was in a position 2 years ago and nothing, like I said, nothing around me was lavish. So back to your question. Yes. Within my academy. So, we go, I help you, break those barriers, break those, those, limiting beliefs. And then we go into wealth, right? So what does that look like? Wealth is like, what are you currently doing to build wealth for your family, right? So, like personal credit and business credit and, getting some insight if they wanted to continue with doing trust, if they wanted to, let's see, if you wanted, like, also there's a component about funding, like if your personal credit is in position, if your LLC is bank compliant, we can get you funding. So teaching on components like that, like I was saying, like if you
it's
know,
all compassing. It's not just only about the financial part, right? It also includes the health, the wellness, physical, right?
Exactly.
The mindset, breaking self-belief. I mean, this is amazing.
Yes.
So it gives you everything. Of course, gives you everything you need, right, to break free so you can experience this extraordinary life, right?
I love that. And I think it's, you were saying you don't want people to be discriminated against. I think sometimes people disqualify themselves unknowingly because it's like, if, when you see something on social media and you're like, oh, they're a millionaire. Why they dressed like that? Why they hair like that? That's their money. That's their millions. You go get your millions. You establish yourself and then you live out your rich. You live out your lavish. You do it how you want to do it. Some people's things is cars. Other people's things is shoes, bags, all trips. Yeah. And then, other people's food. I know a guy, his thing is cars and food. That's all. He just wears the most basic stuff. He be shopping at Ross. He don't and he makes good money. He buys diamonds and all this stuff for his wife. But him, if you see him on the street, you like, okay. But then let him get in his car. Yeah. Let him invite you out to eat. You're like, okay now, buddy. But that's just what his definition of lavish is. So you're giving your clients and everyone that comes to get your course this arrangement to be lavish, and then it express itself through them however it comes through.
That was well said. Absolutely. Well said. Yes.
That means I got the vision.
Yes.
I got you. I'm in there. I'm tapping in the spirit.
That's so amazing. Wow. So Lavish Academy, right? So can you just give like a free game to maybe somebody watching right now? Because that's your camera right there. Okay. That maybe they like, wow, Coach Ashley, this is good, before they even get your course and your coaching program, just a little taste of, maybe helping them break some self-limiting thoughts or barriers or whatever. Can you just give like a free game to maybe a woman watching right now to just kind of help them start shifting from wherever they are to living into this lavish lifestyle?
Yes, I will. So I want you to repeat after me. Let's do positive affirmations. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am abundant. I am deserving of success. Successful entrepreneurs look for me every day. They want to pour into me. They want to connect with me. They want to align with me. And so the reason why I do the positive affirmations is because the negative thoughts comes into our mind subconsciously. And so when you do the positive affirmations, they are going in subconsciously as well. So as long as you continue to say the positive affirmations, it's like you're combating the negative thoughts. You're combating the negative thinking. And I think once you begin to train your mind to think that way, I think you'll begin to train your mind to, you begin to transform wherever you are right now, because you begin to let loose and really let loose of those limiting beliefs and really those negative thoughts that are oftentimes holding you back from moving forward. And so I think that positive affirmation, because you have to understand that your mindset is your greatest asset. Yes. And once you begin to work on your mind, once you begin to change your mindset, you can essentially change your life. Yeah. And you have to make up your mind. You have to be intentional, and you have to make a decision. You have to take massive action, and you have to move with speed. So those are some few things that I have learned just as a result of investing into myself and really creating strategic partnerships. And so another thing too, so that's mental wise, but when we come to financial, like financially wise, like as far as getting your personal credit together, you want to ensure that when it's time to get to ensure that when you go for funding for your personal credit, you want to make sure that you have a 680 plus credit score, no derogatory marks, no collections, no late payments, no bankruptcies, credit card utilization under 10%. So it's just certain things that you want to ensure. And if you're ready, to get started, I do have a software that I also help individuals with. And people I can also offer, that's another thing. I also offer the credit repair side at a discounted rate if they don't want to, utilize the information that I tell them as far as cleaning up their personal credit. So that's just something that they can do, and just helping them set up their business, just offering them things that I did not have. I want to set them straight and set them, as they embark on their journey, I want to make sure that they embark on their journey right and correctly,
That's
awesome.
good stuff. And I love what you're doing. And anytime I see, or, I run into different people and women, one thing that always stands out to me amongst so many different things is people who have been through hardship and they've lifted themselves up, but they don't stop with lifting themselves up. They turn around like, okay, look, if I knew this, then I would be here. So let me give you what I didn't have. Let me pass this to you. Let me give this to you. Get it now. And you can even go further, faster than I did.
Exactly.
I love that, because it's like a person like that, you can't lose.
Yeah.
You can't lose. Like, you're always going to win because you just have that heart to give what you didn't have, which then makes room for someone else to say, let me give you this.
Yes.
At the right time, So I love what you're doing. I love lavish. I just,
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
That is so amazing. So I think that's a really good episode. Right?
That's an awesome episode.
You've learned so much today on Nourish Nation on, really taking care of your mental health, your emotional health, and also your financial health too. And
absolutely.
we think that, I really recommend Ashley. She's an amazing coach. If you need help with your mindset, living this lavish life, breaking self-limiting beliefs, business, personal funding, credit, all of those good stuff, right? You need to tap in with her, right? And she has a course and a coaching program as well. Some of you just like to do the course, right? You just want to study yourself. Good. Or you want help with coaching us, so you can also tap in with her and get all of this stuff. It's not just only her. That's one of the things that helped Dr. Faith and I, from being, we were poor, we were broke and everything, to now becoming successful today because we invested in ourselves.
Absolutely.
We invested in courses and coaching programs and masterminds. And sometimes people wonder why their life is not moving forward because they are too scared to invest in a course or a coach, right? But if you want to really move forward this year and move up and level up, you are going to need to invest. You heard Coach Ashley say she didn't have the money when she went to this major conference that was pivotal in her life, but she found a way to make it happen, right? So this year, Nourish Nation, make sure that you're not giving excuses of how you cannot afford something, but instead start thinking about how you can afford something, right? So Dr. if you have any thing to add, don't bring Ashley back to give a final word, and then she'll tell us where people can buy our course.
Absolutely. I love this episode. It's just a great reminder that it doesn't matter where you start. It's all about what you do, where you're at, and how you finish.
Awesome. So Ashley, I know there's multiple things that you cover in your course, right? But if you could just think of one thing that can help somebody get unstuck right now from where they are to really living this lavish life, what would be that one thing that you can leave with our audience today?
Let's see. There are a multitude of things.
Yeah,
let me just pick one.
I know you have a lot to share. That's why you guys got to get our course, okay?
Yes. I want to say I'm going to go with what helped me. I'm going to go with essentially what helped me. And that was the morning routine. I'm just sorry. That it was just the morning routine for me. And just taking that morning routine and investing into myself. In addition to learning about the financial literacy, that's essentially what did it all, because what took me to the top is the staying consistent and being in a state of gratitude, and just being consistent with everything that I do and being resourceful, that really led me to where I am today.
Awesome. So where can our audience get your course? What's the website?
Yeah, so the website is www.lavishacademyco.com.
Awesome. So lavishacademy.co. All right, guys, this is an amazing episode. Make sure you tap in with Coach Ashley and get our course and also to our coaching program. It's going to really, really help you because really God wants us to live lavish.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
He said that I wish above all things that we prosper and be in health, even as our soul prospers. So God wants you to prosper in your mind, in your body, in your soul, in your finances, and to live lavish and not to live like barely making it, right? So make sure you get our course and tap in with her. And we'll see you in the next episode of the New Rich Podcast. Bye, New Rich.